get right into it. So this show should be called Low-Key, We Don't Know How to Communicate at Our Big Age. Because so many things could be solved with a simple conversation within this group. With Issa and Lawrence, with Issa and Molly. Issa, are you the problem? Or just the lead? You're giving me problem. One thing I love about this show, and I will say it every time, because supporting actors or supporting characters on shows do not get the love that they deserve. The supporting cast on this show is really just top-notch. They are seriously top-notch actors, because this scene where all the tenants decide to come into Issa's place and wreak her filth because they ain't got no water, I firmly believe that a lot of those lines were improvised, especially that line where that guy was like, "You treating us like them people in Flint, Michigan." Listen. They were cussing Issa out about, not taking care of, the water because her mind is focused on a block party, you know what I mean? And we all know that she's only in this situation of being the apartment manager because she needs to save money, but the block party is her passion, and that's where all of her focus is going. But her tenants got her together and let her know, baby, you got responsibilities. So you need to take care of this. From the child to the adults, they read her for filth, and they are so freaking good. We were cracking up watching this scene, and I mean, these actors were on camera for like, what, 2 minutes? Love it, love it. I will say this, we don't talk enough about how this is a top-notch show. We talk about it because it's a good show, right? But it's also, a lot of the press about this show comes from the fact that, oh, it's Black people, you know what I mean? It's a Black cast, Black production, not on a Black network, but we're getting there. We're getting there. The majority of the talk about the show is more race-based, right? And I think we also need to add in the conversation that this is just a really good show. Not just, but it's a really good show. From the writing, to the casting, to the filmography, to the direction. It's really, to the costuming, to the makeup. Every part of this show is stellar. It's like top-notch work, and I think that also needs to be discussed as well. Because everything and everybody is flawed, but baby, you got to look real hard to find a flaw on this show. Great job, great job. If we need, not saying that race needs to be taken out of the conversation, it should not be the only conversation concerning this show, because this show is up there. It really, really is. I got a white couple coming down for the jazz festival, and they're not going to be happy with not having no water. You can't have an Airbnb. So good. So good. Just like with anything that you are doing pro bono, everything is starting to fall apart concerning the block party for Issa. She's trying to, contact Condola. Condola's not answering her. And I'm just like, Condola, are you ghosting Issa because you know that your current man wants that old thing back? Like, what is that? Because they normally are on the phone, hanging out, busting it up all the time. Now, all of a sudden, since Condola and Lawrence had that conversation, she ain't answering Issa's calls. What's that about? Women be knowing. Women be knowing. However, do we know enough about Condola to know if she is just really busy or mad about Lawrence, or because she's mad about Lawrence, she's now trying to sabotage the block party? Listen. A woman scorned can do some damage. Because think about it. If this block party don't work out, it's no sweat off of her back. Issa is the only one who would really, this would really impact her in a way that would hurt her emotionally, but also would put a dent in whatever kind of career she is trying to actually create off of this block party. Condola will be fine either way. Things that make you go, yeah. Molly is a professional screw up. That's what she is. She is a professional screw up. I just don't understand how she finally gets everything that she wants and she makes it a problem. She tears it down, because even in her relationship with Andrew, you told the man that you wanted more. He gives you more. Now you don't have time for him. It's like he can't do anything right. I'm starting to get abusive. I feel like he's in an abusive relationship, because guys, if the tables were turned, we would be looking at, what would Molly's name be? If Molly was Malcolm, we would be like, Anna, get out of this relationship. He is abusive. He is controlling you. That's what Molly is giving me, because she's blowing off Andrew and she doesn't have to. Like they told her at her job, like she doesn't have to stay. One girl was already going to stay and Molly's like, oh no, I don't have anything important. And the girl was like, don't you? And she's like, oh no, I don't have anything important. I can stay. And then she texts the man that she's in a relationship with that she was just pouting about the last episode. She wanted this relationship so bad. She cussed out a friend. She cussed him out. She finally got it. Now you're messing it up. What is that? Is this just self-saboteur? Is that what it is? It has to be something deeper because she's oblivious. I think we all know when we're self-sabotaging, we just can't stop it. She's oblivious. What is that? Being an awful person? Like, what is it? I can't quite figure it out yet, but I'm like, Molly, you just mess everything up. Like she waits for it to get perfect and then she just destroys it. Self-saboteur, demonic possession. What is it? What is it? So Molly and Issa at this point still have not sat down, right? They still haven't sat down to have the conversation. So with all this space and time, and my mom always says the idle mind, idle time. Idle time is the devil's playground. Something Christian, but basically means like when you have all of like this time, it just gives, you know, the enemy time to like just craft and create things that you could believe. And I think with this time in between Molly and Issa and having this issue, like things are being crafted. Untruths, you know, lies, you know, all kinds of things are being crafted and they're having like this awkward energy from not talking. You guys live in the same city. You know what I mean? You can have a conversation, but they won't. So everybody meets up to go to that obnoxious girl. Woo, y'all just want to be her friend. She finally had the baby, so everybody goes over to, you know, meet and greet the baby. And they get into this weird thing where they both are trying to, you know, take a parking space, and Issa finally gives up and lets Molly takes it. Like I said before, nothing in the show is by accident. I think that was a metaphor to show what their relationship is like. With these two, unlike in other relationships, there's a give and a take. In friendships, there's a give and a take. But with Molly and Issa, there is just a take. And it's always Molly taking, and Issa is, you know, conceding because she doesn't want to, you know, she's that kind of person where she's just like, I don't like confrontation, so I don't want to get into it. And Molly is the type of person, you know, the lawyer herself is like, oh, confrontation is my job. Let's go. But Issa's not like that. So she's just like, okay, I'm just going to, you know, let you have that because I don't want to get into it. So she inconveniences herself to make it, you know, convenient for her friend who won't do the same. We'll get into that later. So they finally, you know, meet up and are like doing like small talk while they're walking in. And let me just tell you this high-pitched thing, it has to be like a Black diaspora thing because I've only seen it with Black people. When we are lying, our voice, our voice gets so high, and they were both doing that high-pitched voice thing that we all do when we're lying and we're trying not to let like the truth come out. So like we're fighting with this truth. And so for some reason, like our breath gets shorter and our voice gets higher. I know that. Like, why do we do that? Maybe I should have watched last season before I started to review this season because I think I felt like I remembered all of it. I don't remember what Molly's issue is with Issa because it's coming off very pompous, you know, very, oh, I've arrived, you know what I mean? And I'm hoping, or I want to believe that there's something behind that and not just the fact that she is feeling like she's better than her. What happened with them last season? Is it because Issa wasn't okay with her sleeping with that married man? Was that it? Something else had to happen. What did I miss? Please, somebody cue me in because I'm like, I missed something. I had to. Oh, Molly is not just an awful person, is she? Is this character just awful? How did we get here? And remember when I said that Andrew is in an abusive relationship with Molly? He is in an abusive relationship. If the tables were turned, we would have told Molly to get out. Molly has finally made time for Andrew. They are discussing what they're going to do after the date. And he's just like, oh, well, I have, you know, a card game that I want to do with my friends. And she's just like, oh, well, I thought we were going to spend the whole day together. And he's just like, oh, well, you just never have time. So I just like to plan stuff. Was it petty? Yes. Was it truth? Yes. You know what I mean? Like, I think if he wasn't trying to get a point across, he would have said something different. You know what I mean? Not the, oh, you never have time for me. It could have just been like, oh, I thought you had something else to do. You know what I mean? But he said, well, you never had time for me. So that's how it came out. And Molly is just like, oh, well, I'm making time. I'm making time now. Oh, no, Andrew, no. You don't have to go through this. Do you just want to be with a Black woman? There are people who are just like, you know, they will hold on to that like idea of the partner that they have, and they will go through it just because they look like what they've always wanted. Is this it? Is she fulfilling something for you? You know what? No, he acts like he's been here before. This ain't his first time at the Essence Festival, so he knows what he's doing. Get out, Andrew. Get out. Even after, you know, they both apologized. I don't know why Andrew apologized, but he apologized. It seems like everything is cool. And then we get a close-up of Molly doing that eye thing. That means ain't nothing cool. I just lied and said it was, but now something is building because she's... So you know that something is building and growing, and she's going to snap at that man, probably beat him up or run him over with a car, something, because she's never happy. Molly, how did we get here? I used to love you. It's because you started banging that cheating man. Because guys, I feel like he was cheating because we still have not heard his wife's perspective on this. We had just only, you know, received what he was saying to Molly. We never got that wife saying, oh, this is a chick that my husband is banging. It's fine. Our relationship was open. We've never heard that from her. We've only heard it from him. And we all know men lie daily, hourly, every second. They breathe, a lie comes out. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I still think that he was cheating. So anyway, everything is falling apart for Issa. Her headliner drops out of her show, so she is just scrambling. You know that she's going through something with Molly because when her headliner dropped out, Molly would have been her first call, but she wasn't. So Issa's calling everybody in her Rolodex. Some people are dead, some people are saved. Like, it's just, she can't get anybody. She resorts to trying to get Beyonce. She realizes that the idea of Beyonce responding to an Instagram DM is ridiculous. So after everything, after she has, you know, exhausted every option, she finally calls her best friend. So they got issues. You can tell, because she would have been her first call. Anyway, she calls Molly to ask her if she would ask Andrew if he can get any artists to come, because he works at Live Nation, to get any artists to headline her block party. I agree with the both of them on how they have received this conversation, because later in the episode, Molly calls her and she's just like, I don't want to mess up my relationship with trying to ask, you know, him for a favor, right? Let's talk about that. So Issa and Molly are having issues. Issa, when her, you know, headliner dropped out, she called everybody else but her best friend, and normally her best friend would have been her first call. She finally calls her best friend. Her best friend is relieved to actually hear from her. Because she thinks that they're just going to have a conversation. You can tell when Molly picked up the phone and heard her voice, and she said, hey girl, what's up? She thought that they were actually going to talk or just catch up like the old times, right? When things were good between them. When she realized that this wasn't a catch-up call, this was a, I need something from you. Everything, like, she was relieved in the beginning. As soon as she realized that she was being worked by her bestie, everything, you know, the shield came back up again. She was instantly back in her issue with Issa. I had to sleep on this because I was just like, oh, Molly, you're wrong, right? However, I will say this. If Issa knows that her and Molly have an issue, and you knew there was a problem because she wasn't your first call, she wasn't your second call, she wasn't your third call. She was your last resort. You never call your best friend as your last resort, ever, right? So because she was your last resort, you knew there was an issue, and even the way you were speaking to her, you were obviously working her because you were desperate and you were in a situation. You should have had the conversation with her first and then ask her if she could help you. You called somebody that you're having an issue with and asked them to help you without even having the conversation with them after you have canceled. We don't know how many times she has canceled, but she canceled on her the first time they were actually going to sit down and have the meeting. So yeah, I get Molly being like, well, I ain't gonna help you. You know what I mean? I don't want to ask my man because, you know, this is real new and I want to protect this, right? Obviously that was, you know, something that she just thought up, you know. She probably sat on it for a while in order to come up with a believable excuse instead of just telling her friend the truth, her best friend, the truth, which is, I don't like the fact that you asked me for something and me and you are not on good terms. So I honestly get Molly. However, I also understand Issa, who is just like, this is my best friend. I know we're going through something. I don't really want to call her right now because we need to have the conversation. And I don't want to call her and ask for help, but I'm at rock bottom. My back is up against the wall. I need help. Who will help me? Who can help me? And who will help me no matter what? My best friend. So she's calling her best friend thinking that she will actually help her because no matter what we're going through, we're best friends. I honestly get it. You know what I mean? Even when me and my best friends have been in something, like they could call me and ask me for something and I'm just like, sure. You know what I mean? Like, I got you. We need to have that conversation, but you know, you're going through something right now. This isn't important. Let me help you out of this. And then when everything is good, we can have the conversation. That's just how best friend relationships sometimes work. So I understand where she was coming from. The issue here is neither one of them have discussed it. That's the thing. Like, there is an issue. They haven't talked about it. So now, because Molly didn't help Issa, now it's going to turn into something even bigger because this is a really huge, you know, moment and opportunity for Issa, and it's probably going to crash and burn. And she's going to blame Molly for that. So now it's going to become an even bigger divide because when I needed you, you didn't help me. But when I needed my friend, you didn't check on me. You just asked me for something that you needed instead of making the conversation that we needed to have a priority. You canceled on it. So you couldn't call me to reschedule the conversation, but you can call me to ask me to help save your block party. So that's where these two are, and they both make sense. I think that Molly is just not being that great of a friend to Issa. I think they both have done things that are wrong. I just think that there's something going on with Molly that is just really, it's like some kind of bitterness. And I don't know where it originated from. It's very apparent in this season, but I'm thinking back and I'm like, I don't remember where they went so wrong. I remember some little things, right? But maybe it was the little things. Maybe it was the little things. Are they really here over that guy? Over that married dude? I don't even remember his name anymore. I hope not. I hope this is not about the fact that she did not support her friend's foolishness. Oh, gosh. Molly, you're better than that. No, you're not. No, she's not. So honestly, at this point, I just think that Molly is kind of done with Issa. I think that's where they're at. I think Molly, for her, she feels like she's in a different place in her life and she just doesn't want to be close with someone or in a friendship with someone or working on a friendship and building and growing their friendship with someone who is just not where she's at. I think that's what's happening. She finally got the job that she wants. You know, she got a high-rise apartment, and, you know, the good part of town. She's in a relationship with a man that has a really good job. She feels like she has arrived and she does not need to be hanging out with somebody who has, you know, sex with TSA agents. You know, she just feels like she's above it. And I think if Issa was in a different place in her life, if she was on the same level as, you know, Molly is financially, you know, making moves like Molly in her career, I think she probably would have respected her former friend a bit more. But I think that's what's happening here. She's looking down on her because she is not where Molly is right now. When Molly wasn't even there like a season ago, you just got here. And you know, but it happens a lot. People finally get a shot, and instead of, you know, opening up a door and helping others or just being very humble and gracious with the opportunities that they have received and the blessings that they have received concerning their career, they just start looking down on people. It's just like, oh my goodness, I can't believe you live there. Like, you wasn't living there a couple months ago. You just got a good job so you can move to a better neighborhood, but this was your hood. So now you don't go down there anymore because you don't want to drive your car down there. That's what she's giving me. She's looking down on Issa because of where she is in her life. Like she wasn't, you know, not doing so great a season or two ago. It's unfortunate. unfortunate because they started out so strong and now we're going to see them deteriorate. I will say this. I was on Twitter and somebody said, I hate saying that because I'm just like, you can credit the person. Stop stealing people's content, right? But girl, I forgot. I should have taken a screenshot of this tweet. I'll do better about this next time. But this young lady, somebody, tweeted that watching Issa and Molly's relationship fall apart episode after episode is exhausting, but she's very thankful that we all get to see a very honest look at how platonic female relationships form, grow, and fall apart. We're actually seeing this relationship deteriorate, and it's very relatable. It's very honest. And it's also something that we can learn from, you know what I mean? Because a lot of us are looking at ourselves in this situation. We can see ourselves in little things that Molly is doing. We can see ourselves in things that Issa is doing. We can even see ourselves in how Lisa is communicating with Lawrence. But I love that, you know, this season is fully about, you know, the women and how we sometimes do the same things that we do in our relationships to our good girlfriends. And I think we do it a little bit more vicious because we know that our girlfriends or our sisters are going to stick around. You know what I mean? We're a little bit more patient with the men because we're not sure if they're in it for the long haul. But you know, your girlfriends, you know they'll be there through hell or high water. So you're a little bit more vicious to them. I think the look at this relationship is showing, you know, the girlfriends that we need to also give our girlfriend relationships the same care and kindness that we give to, you know, our relationships with the men in our lives. Speaking of Lawrence, what does he have to tell Issa? I hope he is not going to tell her that he is still in love with her. Oh my gosh. We don't need this, right? Because next week is the block party and Nathan is going to show up. Is Daniel going to show up? Speaking of Daniel, why didn't she reach out to him? Like, Daniel would have got her a headliner right away. Oh my gosh. Is she going to reach out to Daniel for a headliner? And then he's going to show up at the block party. And then Nathan is going to show up at the block party. And then Lawrence is going to show up at the block party. And Issa is going to have to make a choice. The way it's going, she might just accept Lawrence. Here is why, right? They've all built this friend group where Issa and Lawrence are a really huge, important part of this friend group. Like, they can't hang with him and not hang with her. They can't hang with her and not hang with him. In this friend group, they're a package deal. Just because they are broken up doesn't mean that they're still not going to see each other. We have seen this, right? So I think, and this happens a lot, because it's just easier, she might just go back to him. And also because she cheated, she might just want to feel like, I need to fix what I broke and also reap the benefits of the man that she believes that she built. I think she's going to go back to Lawrence. And don't throw tomatoes, but I won't be mad at that. Nathan is a ghoster. Daniel, who knows what he's doing? You know, the rebuilt Lawrence is the best choice at this point, in my opinion. But he about to be unemployed again, and you know you don't like him when he's unemployed, Issa. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, but I know that next week, that block party is going to be messy, and I am going to be here for it. That's all I wanted to talk about with this episode. What did you think of this episode? Let's talk about it in the comment section below. And if you like what you see here, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I will see you next Monday, because I got to edit this, for the following episode of Insecure. Love you guys. Bye. Mwah.